welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. Your support goes a long way in this channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video on styling my hair. I remember last video I mentioned that I'm going to be doing a part 1 of a certain video. This is what I'll be doing. The African threading style. I needed to show you guys how I install or how I put the threading on my hair so that after some days I remove and my hair is stretched. So I've had so many people ask about that, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on how I do the threading. Okay, so stay with me to the end of this video and don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Okay, so we are going to start off by identifying what I'm going to use for this particular part. And most of you have asked what I use to stretch the thread that I'm going to use to stretch my hair. I use this Brazilian wool. Brazilian wool feels like more like your hair itself, the 4C hair or something, so it doesn't cause so much it doesn't cause breakage on my hair because the texture is almost the same as my hair. So we are going to use the Brazilian wool. We are going to use a partitioning comb, and for the products I'm going to be using a leave-in use oil only. So I'm going to use the castor oil, and then I'm going to use this shea butter. Those are all the products I'm going to use because I'm not looking for curls, so I'm not going to use a curling cream. I'm looking to stretch my hair, and of course when I'm stretching my hair I need it to be moisturized. So this is the combo I'm going to be using to moisturize my hair. So that is all I need. I've already cut the Brazilian wool into a sizable, a good size that is going to be enough for my hair. So this is where the trick is. You have to cut something or the thread has to be really long depending on your hair. So if your hair is like mine, probably reaching the chin or something, it has to be really long because you are going to thread really close to each other. You're going to see on the video. So make sure the thread or the wool is as long as it can be, because you don't want to reach somewhere and then the wool is over, and then you have to take another one and then you combine. That's too much work. So just make sure it's long enough. Okay, so we are going to start by sectioning my hair into I will go with 4 parts. We'll see. I'll see what I can do, but I'm looking to do a few sections, probably 8. You don't need so many sections to stretch the hair. So of course you start on freshly washed hair. I just washed my hair, and we're going to section it. All right, so I've already sectioned my hair. I've already done a bit of the back part, so I've sectioned my hair, and now I'm going to be working on this one together with you guys. Okay, so this is the part that you can take. It depends with the thickness of your hair. If your hair is very thick, you can have more parts. If it's not, you can have lesser parts. So this is what I've opted to do. So remember, I've said the thread or the wool needs to be as long as possible so that you don't keep adding once it's over when you're doing the threading. Okay, so we're going to do this part together. We start off by applying a leave-in. Leave-in is very, very important in moisturizing your hair or keeping your hair moisturized and also strengthening your strands. Okay, so we start off with the leave-in conditioner. Make sure you apply thoroughly, even the ends. And then I go in with my castor oil for the scalp. You can also use the shea butter for the scalp. It depends with what you want. Today I choose to do castor oil on the scalp, massage your scalp, and then I go in with the shea butter for the rest of the hair. This one helps to maintain that shine when you're undoing the threads. It's going to have a really nice shiny finish look. Okay, So once that's done, make sure you comb thoroughly. Make sure to comb thoroughly. Now, once you've combed your hair thoroughly, you hold it together so that you can start threading. And here is the catch. Please make sure you release a few inches of your hair from the roots. You don't start threading like this. No, this is not ideal because you're going to cause tension on your scalp. So make sure you release a few inches. I don't know, 1, 2, depends with where you're going to feel comfortable. When you hold like this, make sure it can move. Make sure your hair can move, or that part can move, so that you don't cause tension on your scalp. Okay, make sure it's moving, and then now you can pick your thread and you start threading. So you start off with the end. Make sure you secure it with your thumb. This thumb is the one that is securing the end. Do a few rounds on the end so that it secures it properly. Okay, and then you hold your hair together like that. So you can see my thumb is doing most of the work. This thumb is doing most of the work. It's feeling how I'm doing the threading. Okay, you feel it with your thumb. Okay, so another thing I want to point out is when you're threading, make sure the threads are as close together as possible. Make sure your hair is not sticking out between the threads. That way you'll have the full hair stretched. You won't have some patches popping out. Okay, so make sure you see the thread is as close together. You don't want to see your hair inside there. So, and how you do that, make sure you feel the threading, how you're threading with this thumb. Make sure it feels. If you feel there's a hair popping out, please redo that part. So this is not going to be enough. You can see that already I'm remaining with this part, and this is the length of the thread. So what you do is you pick another strand or another wool, join it together with the previous one without folding the other one, and then start threading. Make sure to secure that first part, and then once you've secured the parts, combine the previous thread with the hair. Okay, combine the previous thread with the hair, and then you continue threading. So once you reach the end of your hair, keep going a bit longer, because when you are undoing the threads, you have to cut the edge of that, or the end of that thread. So you don't want to cut your hair, so you keep going a little inches more, and then now you can secure the end. Yeah, and then you secure the end. You make a knot at the end so that you can secure that part. Okay, so the hair is a bit up, and this is the end. So when I am undoing the threads, I will cut this part. That's why you have to extend, so that you don't cut your hair. And that's it. That's how you do the African threading method. You can see you can't see my hair popping out. It's all secured inside the thread, and that's how you do it. It's not tensed on my scalp, so it's safe. Okay. I've already done that part. You can see the threads are really close together. So I'm done with half of my hair. I've done about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 threading. So of course the other side is going to also be 6, and we are done. So I'm going to check which threads look too long, because you want it to be neat and you don't want it to start to tangle. Like this one, if the threads are too long, you can cut them. Like this one, just cut them off. You don't want them to tangle. So okay, I think we are good to go. So I am done. That's how you install or you do the threading process using the Brazilian wool. It feels so light. It's not too tight on my scalp. I could add some oil on the scalp. This is castor oil. It works so well on your scalp. Okay, and we are done. So this is how the threads turned out. This is how they look like. They're not tight, they're very comfortable. I can actually leave the house and go anywhere with them. One question we're going to ask ourselves is, how long do we keep them so that we can have the hair stretched as much as possible? I keep mine between 3 to 4 days so that I can give it time to actually work on my hair and stretch it out. If you make the threads today and then you remove them tomorrow, it's not going to be stretched. It's still moisturized. It's going to shrink back. So you need to give it time to stretch, and then after maybe 3 to 4 days. So I hope this video helps you. I hope you try it out. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comment section. Thank you for keeping it here. Thank you for watching this far, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.